I'm Johnny from Expert Boxing. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about keeping your right shoulder high. So in your stance, in your boxing stance, try to keep this one high. It doesn't have to always be higher than the left, and I'm not saying to drop your left, but I'm trying to say keep your shoulders either even or high. This one higher. What I don't recommend is that the right shoulder is lower than the left. Why? There's two basic reasons. First reason, one, is for good balance. The second reason is for faster right hands. Basically more power on the right side, the back side, basically more power and speed from the strong side of your body, which is the rear side. So what's the problem if you drop the right shoulder? The first problem is that you always lose balance, okay? So anytime that your right shoulder is back down like this, you're always gonna fall back. It's easy to fall back all the time because your opponent's in front, you should always be ready to push forward, right? So if I'm in this position, it's easy for me to repel the push, to counter any kind of pushing energy, punching, anything coming at me, I can repel it. But if I do this and I tilt back, you see my head's tilting back, I'm always gonna lose balance. And with losing balance comes with losing ground. You're gonna feel like, because your body's already like this, naturally when you move around, your body's just gonna keep naturally wiggling backwards, right? Which is not what you want. You don't want to wiggle backwards. It's okay to go back, but keep your energy going forward so that you can punch or you can move forward when you need. If you're like this all the time, the whole fight is you're gonna be going the other way, which is not gonna help you. The next reason is that it's gonna slow down your right hand counters. So anytime that you have your body back like this, it takes longer. Anytime I'm leaning back like this, it takes longer. Why? Easy, because I have to get my body up to the middle, and then at the middle, I throw, right? But if I already kept my body in the middle, or even slightly forward, boom, this comes out much quicker. You need these right hand counters, otherwise you're gonna be like the beginner, getting beat up along the ropes, and then you swing, and everybody sees it coming, they duck under, they slip, they back off, and then they hit you again. So again, try not to be back here, because it slows down your right hand. Not only will it slow down your right hands, but your right hand's not even in the right position to throw a right cross, right? If you're leaning back like this, you see this? It's kind of weird. You have to throw yourself like that. Or from here, all you have is a right uppercut, which may or may not be what you want, right? Maybe what you want is this. But you see how from here I cannot throw an overhand right. I have to pick up my body, carry it to the front. So it puts you in the bad angle. And also too, on top of that, if you have your head and you have your body back here and you want to throw a right hand, now you're throwing your face into the punch, right? You're swinging it in. This is really deadly because now if he throws a counter right and you're swinging your head in, boom, you're putting yourself at risk to the knockout right hand exchange. There's all these different problems that you have just because you dip into the right shoulder, that your right shoulder's lower and your left shoulder's higher. All that balance and slowing down your right hands. Now I want to talk about where I think the problem comes from. I think that there are many fighters that they're trying to copy Mayweather. They're trying to shoulder roll. So Mayweather really, I mean, he's not... Yes, there's moments where he does this, but this is not his natural position. He's not here. He's not trying to do this the whole time. His shoulder's down, and if anything, he rolls it away like that, right? Here and there, okay, there's a higher hand. He comes up, but for me, if you try to lift your left shoulder all the time to cover your chin, right? That's your mentality. You're at risk to you're just tilting yourself off balance. And then from here, you're just going to be bombarded with punches. You'll never be in the right stance to fire back and to hold your ground. So be careful with how you try to do the Philly shell or shoulder roll defense. Be careful that maybe you just lift your shoulder or you just roll your shoulder, but don't tilt your whole body back. That would be one idea. The other idea is, again, it has to do with the head position. I think many fighters, they keep their head somewhere in the middle or straight up. Some fighters do this. They keep it in the middle, and then anytime that they want to pull away from a shot, they go off balance, right? So this is the problem. So I don't recommend that. If you can, keep your head, instead of going from middle to back and doing this kind of thing where you lose balance, put your head forward, and then you go from forward to middle. Forward to middle, right? Boom, boom. And then you're always ready you still have forward energy, forward momentum, forward balance to go forward, right? So keep your head more forward, and then, right, you go up to the center, and you go forward. That way you never tilt off balance. That's an easy way. I'll show you from the camera. See this? My head's going back, and the shoulder starts to dip already. Here, my head's going forward, this head's higher. I come to middle, I come to forward. Middle to forward, boom. boom, boom. And then you have better balance this way, and you're ready to push in this direction, not the other. Another way that beginners have this problem is the way that they jab. So when you jab, try not to toss your head back. So I don't know how they do it, but some beginners are like this, and they go boom, like that. They do something like that. Then here, pop up, boom. And they basically just throw themselves off balance, right? Or maybe, you know, sometimes they're being defensive, and then they're trying to get away, and they do that. So stop it, okay? Just stop it. Keep your head forward, boom. Just like that. Keep your head down and in. I know it's scary because you want to make your arm longer. I know. You want to do this. That way your arm feels long and you keep your opponent away, but when you do it like that, you're always at cost to pushing yourself off balance. Try to keep your head in the game, boom. Pop a clean jab, stay forward. You can jab, but try not to throw, you know, and it's okay to lift your shoulder when you jab, but don't jack up your alignment, your spine. It can also be that some beginners are too defensive. They just have an overly defensive mentality that they're always trying to back up. They're always trying to cover up, right? So if that's your mentality, then you will have that problem where everything tilts back, goes on a back tilt, and you always go backwards. So it helps to just keep attacking energy. You can be a defensive fighter, and look at Floyd Mayweather. He's a defensive fighter, but he still stares you down. He puts pressure, and he's ready to counter, right? He's not this. It's not like he goes on a break and covers up. So try to keep the energy of attacking. Always be ready to attack, and that you want to attack. So have that in you. It needs to be in your mind, needs to be in your spirit. The last reason that I think beginners, they always tilt back all the time, is because of how they try to protect their body, how they try to protect themselves with the right hand. Beginners, if I put my right hand right here, if you notice, look, my right hand either covers my chin or covers my body, right? That's it. I have a long neck, I have a long torso. That's it. I cover my chin, I cover my body. What some beginners do is they try to cover both, right? They try to do this. They're trying to like shell up like a ball. They think they can protect their entire body, that they do this, but it doesn't work. Because now you're starting to tilt yourself backwards, and then you will fall off balance. Right here, man, you can't protect everything. And in fact, you shouldn't be thinking about defense. Like, be defensively aware, okay? Have good reflexes, be ready, be trained. But your body, you don't want to like coil up like this. It'll take you forever to counter. Be in position to counter, and then if you need, boom, boom, boom. But be ready to counter. Don't coil up like this. So a lot of beginners, they do something like that, and that also contributes to them having the back tilt problem, right? The tilted shoulder problem. So these are the things that I want you to try to help you get into this better position. First off is a vertical tilt. So a vertical tilt, look, try to think more forward, a little bit forward, always. Your fighting stance, okay, I'm gonna put my arms down. It's not here, it's a little bit here. I try to think like this all the time, a little bit forward. Not this, obviously, because you're sticking your head in the way and you get ripped by uppercuts, but not straight up, because every time you straight up, you take away your ability to pull back a little bit, right? You can, if you're a super tall guy, like Vladimir Klitschko, actually he fights very straight up and he gets away with it. So you can, up to your body type, but I would say, try if you can, a little bit forward, okay? A little bit of a vertical tilt forward. I'll show you here in the camera. This is straight up, this is starting to go back. You can see the shoulder's dipping right here. Try to go forward. You see how this one comes up, right? Try to go forward. This will help you find the better angles and all that. This kind of closes off your right side. Now you feel like this side has to do all the work and the strong side is stuck in the backyard. Okay, the next thing is that you want to rotate horizontally. Try to get this one out a little more, right? So what most guys do, I imagine they do something like this. They try to cover up this way. Try to get this one out. So it's vertical tilt, horizontal rotation. Try to look for this a little more. Now you don't have to be so square like this, no, but just think of like getting this one out a little closer. Also too, mentally, what I'm always thinking is that I want to set a stronger tone, a stronger presence. And I'm here. I want to look like I'm going to fire, and I'm going to fire from both hands. This hand needs to be a threat. If I hide this hand, this right hand right here, it needs to look like it wants to be in a fight. Okay? If I take away the left hand and your right hand looks like something like this, that's not it. This hand needs to look like it wants to be in a fight. Then you put this one up. That's the look, that's the tone, that's the presence. You need to look like you're gonna come over the top with something. What you don't want is something like this, something like this. Okay, even like this is like, this is borderline, this is it. Right here, no. Right here. Okay, also my head, you see my head, I'm not so much hanging out over here. I try to hang out in the middle, or even, you know, I try to cross this line. You see how imagine there's a line up the center? I try to cross this line a little bit, right? This okay, it's okay, you can mix it up, but okay? So try to think like that. And then also your defensive mentality. I would say don't try to block and run from everything, right? So a lot of guys, they try to block, or they run, right? I don't think that. I don't think to try to cover my whole body here. I stretch out, it's okay. If he goes for a hook, instead of blocking, I roll under. Boom, boom, and I roll under. So try to think that you stretch out your head and you can roll under, or you can slip, but not so much of this mentality all the time. Also too, the way you stand, don't stand so sideways, right? If you stand sideways, you're gonna feel like all you can do is forward or back. And then it really feels like the whole fight is you going forward or you going back. You going in or you going out. Try. I stand more diagonal. Everything goes forward. And then when I go back, it's not I'm going back, I'm just moving laterally to my right. I think of it like that, right? From here, forward angle. If I stand sideways, it feels like everything's forward or everything's backward. But if I stand diagonally, everything goes forward, everything's aiming forward, boom, boom, and then I can only go to my right. Okay? So it's just a little switch. It makes you look at the fight a little differently. The last thing I want to say, that even when you look at defensive guys like Mayweather, Hopkins, Whitaker, Rigondeaux, so people think of these like super defensive guys as always being out here. I want you to go back, watch all their fights, watch from start to finish. You're going to see most of the time they're still here. Even as defensive as they are, they're still here. They're ready to go. They're ready to fire lead rights and all that. They're not hanging out here. Yes, they do get to these, and then you see the highlight reel. It has Mayweather doing this. Right hand seals over his head, and he lands a big counter right. Yes, you see that in the highlight reel, but most of the fight is him, forward energy, forward pressure, forward balance, right? This kind of thing. Boom, Rigondeaux is in there. Even Whitaker, who likes running around, he's still here. He's not here all the time. So try to, you know, change your mentality, that how you see even the most defensive guys, that they're trying to stay forward and watch their fights and see the position they use. Also too, I want to say that even when they lean back, right? So even when Mayweather leans back or whoever, they still try to have like forward energy with their head. Their head is still going like this, right? So when they lean back, they're still trying to keep their head in the fight. They're not doing this. So they're not doing this and just tossing their balance back there, right? They're still trying to stay in the fight and come back with something. I'm Johnny from Expert Boxing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Check out my website, expertboxing.com. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.